So if you're going to build, you might as well build with something substantial and get an expert who's been doing it for over a decade to install it the right way. Make your home beautiful. Stay tuned for this one, everybody. Welcome everyone here to the Your Little Castle Show. Yours truly, Carter Rethwish, aka the Cardinal Cowboy. We get to highlight those leaders in our community making an impact and helping business owners, people that want to have a beautiful home. Why wouldn't you want to get your home made with beautiful granite on hard surfaces? So with that, we brought in an expert, Topside Stone. Our guest here, Aiden Nichols. I told my intern, who I've had forever, now he's grown up and graduated college. His name's Aiden. I know all Aidens are really smart because Aiden's a sharp guy. So welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Well, we want to give a shout out. Carroll House Furniture has been a sponsor of us for a long time. I'm going to make an adaptation here. We got multiple camera TVs and technologies that we always are keeping on track here. But before we go out, there we go. Now we can go out to our, did it go? And it's catching up, and there we go. I'm also the techie expert in the house here, everybody. So, welcome again to Your Little Castle Show, because you like nice things in your little castle. This little castle you have may have had some countertops or some remodeling done by our expert here, who's been doing this for a long time. He said, I could do this myself, and with that, we're going to put up his new logo. And he's got a beautiful Facebook page. And I think his significant other, Grace, has been helping here quite a bit too, a lot of this. Say hi, Grace.
Hi, everybody.
There she is. So with that, she definitely deserves to be in front of the camera, but we're focusing on our founder and owner here, Aiden, and he's good for the camera too, guys. Here we go. Let's get into this, talk about it. Why did you decide to get into this space? This is an interesting niche to be in, and especially with what you're doing for remodeling and really increasing the value of homes. What brought you here?
Yeah, so I've been renovating houses for a long time, since I was 18 years old, and you get everything done. You do all the electrical, all the plumbing, you get all of the flooring in, the paint, and the cabinets. But what really brings the house all together and the kitchen all together is the countertops. So I do think that this is kind of the most glamorous trade. You get to bring in the finished product, bring, like you said, an increased value to people's houses. And, people spend a lot of time in their kitchens and their bathrooms, and we get to create a really beautiful space for the client.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you ever go back to any kind of house that's getting any kind of construction done, one of the easiest upgrades and one of the most glamorous, if you will, right, is to get that new countertop made out of marble, quartz. You gave me a list of what are all the different types of materials you use.
Yeah, so quartz is kind of pretty common now. It's a manufactured material. So we do quartz, quartzite, which is the natural stone version, marble, granite, and soapstone, and then we also do large format porcelain tile. Okay,
so you can get floors done too, if you like.
Yeah, so you can actually do a countertop out of porcelain. They create thicker countertops, and we'll miter the edge and kind of bring it down to make it look like a big, thick surface.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. You can really make it. Do the Taj Mahal here, if you're looking for that, you can make it, and Aiden can make that happen. What do you think so far? You've obviously got some good results. You've got a new website and an updated website coming. What do you think has led to your success so far?
Well, I got a kind of a long origin story, I guess. But I've been working, honestly, since I was like 7 or 8 in the trades. My dad did drywall, and he'd bring me on the site during the summers, and so I did that for a bit. I worked in waterproofing. My uncle he owns Waterway Waterproofing.
Okay.
And he is kind of based out of Kirkwood, Wildwood area, but it's hard work. So carrying buckets of concrete all day, running a jackhammer,
right,
loading up a trailer, all that stuff, and then so ultimately the true reason for my success is hard work, long days, early mornings, and just working until you can't anymore. Yeah.
Long days, hard work make for success. Interesting concept. See how I get the pencil out for that one? Write that one down, everybody. Ultimately, I mean, Alex Hormozy, we were talking a little about, he says, if you're going to be successful these days, you've got to create content because it's the means that you get attention. He also said, if you're going to make it, work hard. He says, you got to put in 60, 80 hours a week sometimes. If you don't like working hard, then just take twice as long to get there. If you want to do it that way, do it the hard way. Without the hard work, right? No hard work makes it harder. So that's a good explanation, and has led. And if you look at some of the work that's on here, we got pictures on the Facebook site here, and just beautiful stuff that has been done here. I'll go back out to our wide camera, but here you can see that Facebook page has got all kinds of updates and images and fun stuff there that we'll go over a little bit to help you understand the dedication and hard work that's been put in here. But 11 years total in the industry, and then you started your company, a couple years ago?
Yeah, so I started a renovation company out of Seattle, Washington, Topside Renovations. That was about 3 or 4 years ago. Just moved back to St. Louis. We're continuing Topside renovations for kitchens and bathrooms, and then also branching into Topside stone for countertops.
Okay. And when you say Topside, you're talking about that. That's hard. Was there anything that you do that isn't a hard material? Because will you use Oliver mica or any of those others? You're usually removing those, I guess, right?
Yeah, usually that's not what people are upgrading to. I mean, I think in the rare circumstance we would do Formica or butcher block countertops, but it's not usually our
You're doing a
trade.
remodel for somebody who had a tight budget. Save
Yeah,
a few bucks, but
right.
is there a tremendous difference in price, or how much more does it cost? I mean, it adds the value in the home, so it's worth it. But
Yeah, I
some
mean,
of the price difference there.
so if you're gonna get like Formica tops made at Home Depot, you're still gonna spend like 1,200 or so.
Okay.
With quartz, it's probably double that.
Okay.
But you get a long-lasting material that's never going to stain or chip or anything like that. So it's more of a long-term solution. And then obviously you get a little bit more expensive if you get into natural stone.
If you get what kind of?
Natural stone, like
Okay.
granite, quartzite,
Okay.
marble, all that
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah, but it's not like you're breaking the bank here. You can get quite a bit of an upgrade in 2,400 versus 1,200.
Absolutely.
That's not a huge difference for a lot of people. And when you're talking about the improvement you get in the quality and the overall value that you're bringing, that's a big difference for a lot of people. Tell us a little bit about your team. Obviously, Grace helps you. You do a lot of the work yourself. Do you have a team of people to help you? Do you bring contractors? How do you get your work done?
Yeah, so I'll sub out some of the work that's a little bit more time consuming for me. So for a kitchen or bathroom, I'll sub out for drywall. I have a full-time employee. He's also my cousin, Sebastian Gould. And then my girlfriend here, Grace Roberts, is the business development side and client relations.
Okay. And yeah, it sounds like she's been pretty dedicated. She's a PR expert too. She's making sure that everybody's got their big smiles on and doing what they need to
Help me prepare for this interview and all that. Yeah, she's been great.
When somebody's making a decision, like I said, this is an upgrade for a lot of people if they want to improve the value of their home, something that's going to last a long. How long is a typical countertop that somebody has in the home when they get the Formica? How long will that last versus what you're offering, and how long do these quartz and granite countertops last?
I guess that's hard to say. I mean, the Formica will last. You know, it is a decent solution. It doesn't look as nice.
Right.
I will say that. I think, and then it also is a little bit more susceptible to water damage. If you get your caulking goes bad or something like that, it will immediately swell. Quartz is honestly forever. Unless you're beating on it with a hammer, it's forever.
You could get quartz that'll last you hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yes.
Yeah, I do know that we talk about it periodically on the show here. We have a house in Fayette, Missouri, or in that part of town, and where I live, Missouri. Either one of those is proper. But they have put in some countertops that look like they're lifted in with a crane. I mean, these things are big and heavy, but they will last for centuries if necessary.
Absolutely.
And this house was built in 1886, I think, or 66. One of those, over almost 200 years ago. And so it's just, by then you've got something that you're not going to be replacing this. This is going to help substantiate the house in the kitchen, which is probably the most important room of the house.
Yeah, I'd say the kitchen's the most important room. It definitely is the one that will increase the value of your home the fastest. Those kinds of upgrades. And then, yeah, quartz and stone and granite. I mean, they've obviously quartzite and stone and granite have been around a while. They were formed in a quarry, right? So they're going to last a little bit longer in your house too.
Yes, we had a question the other day up on the big screen at Bush, and I guess it was a promotion for somebody, but it said, which stone is harder, granite or diamonds? And I was like, everybody knows diamonds are the hardest thing. They're like, but some people might think granite. It's such a hard surface.
Sure.
That people might say, oh, diamonds and granite, they're about the same. But God made a hard, really hard surface that looks beautiful. Diamonds are beautiful, but they're white, and that's pretty much it, right? You get a little bit of variation in color. But quartz or granite, what are the different types of colors you get and variations with that?
I've seen a wide range of granite. There's a project that I'm working on now that's it's the granite's called Black Taurus, and it's these deep blacks and then a very vibrant gold veining going through it. It's gorgeous, but you can get blue and green and just white. I mean, if you want, right? I mean, that's trendy now is the white countertops, but yeah, there's a wide range of colors if you want to get creative.
Okay. Tell me what it is that fuels your passion for this. Obviously, you get to make the home for somebody that maybe they got a nice kitchen. It looks good, but when they walk in here, people go, wow. Is that true?
Yeah, fuels my passion is the art to it. You know, like I grew up in a small apartment in South St. Louis in Benton Park, and my dad was a struggling artist. So you can imagine that I didn't always have the nicest shoes, but he did pass that down. So I do have an artistic eye, and I do like to create, and I like to build a beautiful finished product at the end of the day. And I can't, walk out with something that I didn't put everything that I had into. So
yeah, well, when you talk about it, when we mentioned this is why I was excited to talk to you, because so many people don't realize the incredible value you bring to a home by adding quartz, granite, and then when you talk about those other higher end, they're still not $30,000 and $40,000. I mean, you could spend that much if you want somebody to gouge you, I guess. But you're saying you've got a great value, good, high quality, and you give an incredible upgrade for somebody.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah. So I have an account with MSI. They offer me special discounts for the material, and I can offer competitive pricing. Obviously, if you do want to spend $30,000 on a countertop, we can talk about that. There is a lot of like natural stone, precious stone options at our other partner, Two Rivers, where they have quartzite. What are those called? Geodes.
Geo, okay.
So they bring a bunch of geodes together and make a countertop, and then they backlight it. It's beautiful. So you can get into some
if somebody's
expensive
got
tops if you
an unlimited budget, you could make some wild, exciting things for them.
Absolutely.
Another quote from Alex Hermosa. He said, some people say, if they're trying to nickel and dime you on price, and he said, can you come down? And he said, no, but I can raise the price if you'd like. And then they go, oh, no. Say that to him. But yeah, obviously you're giving good quality stuff here, and everybody wants a great value. And because you're a smaller business, you can, not a lot of overhead, you'll keep the cost down for people.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. With that, we're going to go out some of our fun in the community. One of my favorite little clips here, the Rawlings baseball glove has been world famous, but it's the finest in the field. Ed Wheatley wrote a book all about it. He was here, a guest with us. He and Ozzy were up signing autographs up at Rawlings, and we're going to share that and a little bit of our community fun. Why do we do this show? Why does Mama Rethwish think that this is a good thing to help the community? And why does she say, you gotta, and my buddy Paul said, you got to share this clip every show. All right, everybody, we'll be back here in just a minute. Stay tuned. Here we are, everybody, the Rawlings Westport Plaza, the big screen outside. Ozzy Smith was just here signing autographs. Our buddy, Ed Wheatley, who was just on the show. Here we go. There's Ed right there. Hey, Ed. There's Tracy, got his book. We're inside. This is where it all was happening just minutes ago. You can see here it is. There's Ozzy, got his picture right down here, you can see. And this is the Rawlings experience. We just took a bunch of pictures here, put a post up about it, but it's quite the establishment. And all the history of Rawlings sports, Rawlings gloves. They've got a batting cage up here. This is quite the establishment. If you're looking for anything to do with baseball, especially its finest in the field gloves. check it out. There's your batting cage. And here's the whole layout. So we hope you check out Rawlings here. They have everything you can imagine you would ever need if you're interested in learning about baseball and want to get a baseball glove. Finest in the field, the Cardinal Cowboy. Stay tuned, everybody. It's Cardinal Cowboy. Giddy up.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. By now, we are on ABC 5 times a week. So many businesses are loving what we're doing to help them get their name out there. We'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you, and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com, and if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. Takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there's no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Professional video on your website closes more sales by instantly building trust, clearly explaining complex products, and keeping visitors engaged longer, reducing bounce rate by 34%. It'll help you to gain that credibility, increase engagement, simplify complex tasks, lower your sales friction, and boost your rankings on the search engine. So this is all kind of a no-brainer. See how we've now had over 500 interviews and now almost 250 different business owners. Go to bigleagues.com. That's bigleagues.com. Go to bigleagues.com and get signed up. You can schedule right from there. And we're back, everybody. So we do enjoy a lot of the fun we partake in the community. Ozzie Smith is always I was a big fan of Ozzie, who's my idol as a kid, and helped me to learn how to practice, train, win, learn how to lose, but to always compete. And we get that from our sports. But I like to get into a little analysis here. And this is kind of interesting. I like this because a lot of times if you want to become a roofing guy, and nothing against the roofing guys, but then they talk about this, like you get a ladder, now you're a roofing guy, right? You get a truck, you can be a roofing guy. You want to start doing plumbing, a little more work to get into that industry, but you want to do decks, similar thing, get yourself a nice ladder and go up to the big box store and buy some materials. In this case, it's a little more exclusive. People need to build a relationship, prove the inventory, the capacity, the insurance, the big saws that are expensive to do this. What are some of the things that make it better for somebody to obviously go through a professional like yourself versus trying to cut corners and get a remnant piece you were talking about?
Yeah. So you can always get a remnant off of a piece of countertop from Marketplace or Hoods or whatever, and try to go at it with an angle grinder if you want. I don't recommend that. But so yeah, you have to have a big bridge saw, which is, ours is 18 feet long. I had to unload it with a forklift off of a truck.
Wow.
And then you have to have a filter press system because you can't wash, your slurry down into, MSD sewer pipes.
Okay.
You have to have a filter system and a closed looped water system. So, and then your shop has to have adequate drainage. So I had to cut concrete, dig all the trenches, put all the reinforcement in our trench drains, and then cut a bunch of grading to top it off. So now we have a system so that the bridge saw will drain into the drains, and then we pump it out into tanks. Tanks go to the filter and then back to the saw.
Okay, so there's a barrier to entry here, which is a good thing because you don't want somebody to walk off the turnip truck, if you will, and then say, hey, I got some quartz or whatever here. You don't even know it could be real. They're synthetic and fake, and we've got the real stuff here.
Yeah, so I guess quartz by default is synthetic. It's manufactured. Quartzite is natural stone.
Okay.
So that's the biggest difference. It gets a little confusing.
Okay. And that's why you trust the experts. Why should somebody choose you? Obviously, there's some expertise here. There's some training. There's some years of experience. What do you think really separates you from the rest?
So I take a lot of time with my clients. I want to make sure that we have that we're on the same page. There's no confusion. So I spend a lot of time putting together estimates, itemizing everything out, so we're on the same page. I also like to do AI renderings of the before and
Okay.
after. So I'll take a picture of your space and then take, for instance, for countertops or for a bathroom, take all of the finishes that you've shared with me and put them into AI to generate what I want the finished product to look like.
Yeah, AI has really revolutionized the way you can do business. Somebody like yourself, the younger generation, if I can say it right, they're going to be on top of this stuff. Us older guys, we got to figure out how to use this technology, and we're always a little bit afraid of it. Mom and Dad kind of forced me into it, so I'm stuck with it. But find somebody that can help you with that. But to be on the AI side, I'm going to put up then on the wall, you've got a bunch of pictures here that can help people understand. And we're going to go here with a little before and after. But wow, look at the difference there, everybody. That is a tremendous difference, to say the least. But what's going on here? What kind of a material is that that's in that shower?
So that's a large format porcelain tile. We completely gutted that bathroom. We had to remove one of the walls and then put in some nice glass and porcelain.
Okay. Yeah, and you can see what goes into this by doing so. So I'm going to close out here. We got a number of pictures here and got your furry friend there, but is this a before and after here as well?
It is, yeah.
There we go. Let me put that up on the wall for everybody to take a look at there. Yeah, so there's some countertops. You can see that looks like something from the 60s on the left and something very modern on the right. And so tell me about that a little bit.
So that was also a full gut situation. The countertops in the before photos were one piece, right? So it was a laminate that all wrapped all the way up the backsplash. It's pretty wild. But we took out everything. We took out the wall. You can see we opened up that space there and put in some little can lights. And then we put in quartz countertops for the remodel. And then to the right there, if you see, that's a natural piece of live edge wood with an overhang at the bar.
Okay, over the top and the back. Yes, so you got to have that eye for making things look beautiful too. So and you obviously are bringing that to the table too, and help people, and to the countertop for that matter, right? Very cool. Give me a little bit about this is another industry where there's a little bit of a barrier to entry, but if somebody's picked up and they wanted to do this, there's no specific training you've got to go through. There's no specific certifications you've got to get. You could just start off and say if you had the resources to get this done, you could do so. That's why the experience you bring to the table is so important.
Yeah, you could lease out a warehouse and have a bunch of equipment shipped up for a large amount of money, and then bridge make the connections that I've made with the stone suppliers, and sure you could get into it that way. but I don't know. I already have everything set up that I need to. That sounds
Right.
like a long way to go for one kitchen. You know what I mean? So
Well, yeah, it makes sense too because when you're trying to build a business and you're going to start off from scratch, there's years that go into that development. Somebody's just going to try to shortcut. I guess a lot of people, but that's why I say you've kind of just by virtue of getting access to these materials, you can't do that as easily. If you can't just walk into a big box store and say I need some quartz.
yeah, absolutely. So MSI and other stone dealers, they only supply to fabricators. So the stone suppliers will have a representative come out and take a look at your site, your warehouse, your equipment. Make sure you have insurance, a forklift to unload the material, everything like that, because they do get a lot of calls from homeowners just wanting to buy slabs, but it just doesn't work that way.
That's just not the way it's set up. It's kind of like you can't just walk into Ford and say, hey, I want to buy a truck direct from Ford. They make you go
Absolutely.
through a distributor kind of situation. And that keeps the high quality there and some integrity, and those are important reasons for those. What are some of the other benefits you bring as a small business owner, keeping it a low overhead? What are some of the real benefits of working with somebody like yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess I bring a little bit more of a personalized touch to it. Like I said, we bring a little bit more time to the estimates, the AI renderings. We work hand in hand to figure out what your finishes are in your kitchen, what handles and faucets and all that stuff you want to bring. I can offer faster turnaround times too, because it's obviously a smaller business, and lower overhead, so competitive pricing.
That's all. Those are things that are all very important when you want to try to get something done. Do you work with mostly individual homeowners? Do you deal with any big construction companies? Who do you generally service the most?
So usually it's a lot of residential work, individual homeowners. Obviously, we'd like to expand at some point and bridge into commercial contracts. I think that's something that we very well could have the capacity to do in the future.
And you enjoy working with homeowners because you're really helping somebody take a kitchen that previous to you being in there, you could tell needed some updating. How long is it before somebody typically updates their kitchen?
I'd say a lot of the updates that I see are, from 1960s, 70s, 80s houses, right? So typically about 20, 30 years before
Okay.
they're updating.
Okay, and they will do so at that point, but you don't want to people in the 90s a little bit, but hopefully if they've got a house built in the early 2000s, their kitchen is fairly up to date. You might just swap out countertops if they don't have.
Sure, yeah, countertops or cabinet finishes, handles. There's brass is really trendy right now, so people upgrade to brass for the handles and the faucets. Yeah.
That's what you're looking for. All right, an expert here that can help you make the decision to upgrade your kitchen and bath, everybody. Stay tuned. We're going to have Aiden stick around for another half an hour. If you missed the first show, this one, watch everything on our YouTube channel. We'll be back. This is Carter Rethwich, Cardinal Cowboy, your little castle show. Giddy up.